Trading the foreign exchange market carries high risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Trading on margin, utilizing leverage can carry an even higher level of risk that can lead to a complete loss of investment funds. So before deciding to trade the foreign exchange market or using any of our software alert products, you should carefully and diligently consider your personal investment objectives, level of experience, and risk tolerance. There is a possibility that you could potentially sustain significant loss. You should not invest any capital or trade that you cannot afford to lose. It is your responsibility to be aware of and understand all risks associated with foreign exchange trading and to seek professional advice from an independent certified financial advisor if you have any doubts. Auvoria Prime does not exercise trading authority over your trades. You and you alone exercise discretionary trading authority over every trade.
And this week, you can see that I wouldn't say actually, it's a little less than my peak on this account. It had 17% drawdown on the MyFX book before. We're at about 15% currently on swing settings, and CHF, JPY, EuroCAD, and NZD-CAD are just taking me for a ride here. I've looked at the charts. I've marked up the charts. You know, I know that this is all correlation too. That's the great thing about the correlation filter coming soon. But taking a look at that, I see very similar. Let's go over to my FX book and look at some of the one pair data. I logged into a bunch of my one pair accounts, and you know, not much is happening. Many of them aren't taking any new trades. You know, you can see obviously why we eliminated a long time ago CAD JPY, AUD JPY, all these pairs in yellow. We started to eliminate because they were the worst performers, right? But at the same time, the market's been really slow. Definitely been on the slower side this month. We were picking a pretty back up heavily last month, I'd say, at least for precision strategies. But this month has been on the much slower side. Just been cruising along. Now, I think there's a big thing that a lot of people are coming here. I know if you're coming over from Einstein or Alexander and you're using precision modes instead of instant entry, which ran more like Einstein, you're going to be a little bored. Precision mode, again, isn't taking a lot of trades. Yes, even in swing settings. Like, for example, this account started in August and we're in May. This is, you know, what, 9 months here. And you can see we've taken 189 trades total. So not a lot of trades have been taken. It's very, very precise in the trades it takes and the opportunities it decides to take when it's taking its trades, which is why its profit factor is good. It's why its profitability is incredible. But again, you got to be prepared for it to take trades and obviously get into some swings, but we are releasing the correlation filter. So a lot of this drawdown is going to be minimized here soon with this correlation filter. That's going to be the biggest game changer for GearBox. But, you know, one thing we do want to cover is correlation filter does change constantly. Nikki said, do you have to accept trades with GearBox? Yes, Nikki, you do need to accept trades with GearBox if you are in the US and using the MAV version, known as manual approval version. So I want to talk about correlation because a lot of people don't know this, but correlation changes constantly. Like, let's look at EuroCAD and CAD CHF. Right now, both are pretty trending, but their correlation data is constantly changing. If we were to go back into December, these weren't even, you know, on our necessary radar for us to really worry about. And you can see as time changes, correlation data does change as well. So every week we're going to be updating the correlation filter with new correlation data so that, you know, you can see what's going on, like CAD JPY right now and USD CAD. You know, looking into April, we weren't correlated. Look at this, end of April, 64%, and all of a sudden, oh, nope, just like that. Dylan Kivo says there are places we should see which pairs we should be trading in real time. Well, the pairs decision is kind of up to you, Dylan. What I tell everybody is you can run all the pairs here besides the ones in yellow. I mean, you can run the ones in yellow, but they're the worst performers. So ideally, when somebody tells you something's the worst performer, you probably don't want to run it. But you can run all the pairs here besides the ones in yellow, if you want to run the better performing pairs. The green pairs are the best performing pairs, including AUD USD needs to be highlighted in the updated chart I have coming up. AUD USD crushes it as well, and it's been some of the best performers. Now USD CAD obviously has been on a run right now. So if we go to the one pair data, we have to evaluate that. But so far, it still looks good on my end. If we go to find USD CAD here, the drawdown did actually go finally above 25%. So what this would actually trigger is USD CAD getting its entry bumped up by +1, meaning that we've been entering USD CAD on a gear 2. Swing would now move to gear 3, sniper to gear 4, gear 4. Anytime on the one pair data, the drawdown went past 25%, we increased the entry. So USD CAD just recently put itself in a spot for the entry level to be increased. But everything else pretty standard, looks very similar to what we had already done and raised on entries from early on. Many of these entries have been raised since early on. As we started those accounts back in August, we saw, okay, some of these pairs are moving more than they should be. CAD CHF, for example, got bumped up. And you can see that here. AUD CHF got bumped up too. You can see that here. And so we'll continue to bump those up. Let me keep reading through the questions here. Michael said he's from Pennsylvania. He said USD CHF and USD CAD are killing me. However, I'm not that risk adverse, but making a little profit with instant entry trades. You just got to be careful. I mean, I will tell you, in consolidated markets or trending markets, that instant entry can go in your favor totally. But at the same time, it can totally go against you too. So, you just got to understand your risk. That's what the risk calculator is for, and knowing, hey, what is my risk? If you're doing more advanced things or more manual strategies like that, then I would just always understand my risk. As for disconnections from VPS from broker account, that's a good question for the VPS admins. If you put in a support ticket with the exact time, anytime you guys see anything, if you feel something happens, make sure you log the time and the exact stuff, because when it comes to like VPS stuff or broker account stuff, you have to investigate an actual connection, and we need to have that down to like the exact minutes to be able to go see if there's something going on. Great question. Dylan said, if we have questions during the week, is there a contact email we can message to get support instead of waiting for Friday calls? If there's a paid support group, I'd be interested in that. Well, there's the GearBox Traders chat. Dylan, if you're not in the GearBox Traders chat, definitely you're going to want to get in that. It's a big Telegram group full of a bunch of GearBox customers, about 1,000 of them, going through and talking and answering questions all the time. So definitely want to make sure you are in the GearBox Traders chat. All right, let's dig into a little bit more here. What to look at? So we have our one pair data. We've looked at 10K. We will go ahead and look at some riskier accounts that we always have been running. Same concept. You can see many accounts right now. We're going through that same market cycle. So if we study these accounts, you see there's different market cycles. And you can see that the worst of these market cycles, meaning where we get into the most drawdown, has come from correlated pairs all opening at the same time. Now, this is a risky account. I wouldn't tell anyone to do this right now, but it was running 6 max pairs. I've since lowered the max pairs to 4 on all of these accounts for like the last 2 months because of the market conditions. But we were running 6 pairs, and you can see when I got into all this drawdown, I was in 6 pairs. But balance protection mode, which is one of the features inside GearBox, where it stops taking new trades at 25% drawdown, really saved this account. It protects this account from multiplying its drawdown massively to where it stabilizes things and really can kind of just wait for the market to do what it needs to do, because we know that the market does shift. If you have enough equity and skin, you can withstand things. And that's what this account shows a great example of, is a small account handling higher risk, but because of the risk management features of GearBox, being able to really withstand movements most products couldn't. But when you look at that again, we are in a short period of drawdown on all of our accounts ourselves for the most part. When it comes to the accounts running all the pairs and scanning them. And that is, again, one of those cycles where we have to wait for this to swing. Now, with the correlation filter, you're going to notice that there were times prior to the last few months, really prior to the elections and our presidency change here in the United States of America, that this drawdown was extremely tight on every single account. And then recently, the entire market, all the pairs have been trending, moving much crazier than normal. And again, with that correlation filter, we believe that's going to massively minimize your risk potential and the possibility to even get into these drawdowns, as most of these drawdowns do just only happen when you are in a few correlated pairs, which in this case, we are indeed in those as well on this account. Great question. Nicole said, how will I know that I am in a ghost trade? Well, you can see your ghost trade display right here. So it's going to show you the highest number open in the ghost trade. So you can see on EuroCAD that I have buy level 3 as the first trade in the real market here. Okay, well, if we go over here, it had a buy 2 here. So that means that 2 was the highest number in the ghost server, and then 3 went into the real market. You have 4, 5, 6 in this example. But you can just see the ghost trades on your UI display right here. Noah, how come some accounts have 5% profits, others have 20% in the same time period? No, I'm not sure what you're asking me. Most accounts I'm going to show are typically always going to be between that 5 to 10% a month range profit. There's some customers that do get larger amounts of profit, but normally those are smaller accounts. Like here's a customer's account that I've been watching. I love watching, different customers, my FX books and people that are crushing it. But this customer as well, you can see same cycle we've been talking about. He kind of started right into the whole period where GearBox wasn't even getting into the tightest of non-drawdown. A lot of that tight, no drawdown period happened in beta testing because the market started trending, right after. But you can see he's been handling it incredible. This account's up 114%, started small, deposited a little more money, but it's won 83% of trades. But again, you can see this one's on the higher end of that, 5 to 10% a month range, but it was also a smaller account. So yeah, like I said, that's kind of the goal, really. I would say anything you see with crazier numbers, someone's probably, running a little bit more moderate settings or being overly aggressive. And, there's tons of different strategies. And that's what I love about GearBox is, we built these out the box kind of default strategies that were built into, say, the GearBox manager, right? And the strategies are awesome, but the point of giving you the manager, the point of giving you the ability to customize all the settings across multiple assets and charts here was really to make GearBox the kind of product that the people who understand what it's doing can really customize their risk and do whatever they want to do, right? GearBox becomes a flagship product when you actually understand the markets and you understand the Ghost Gear server and the ability to choose where you enter a trade, along with all the other risk, management features. I mean, there's definitely tons of different strategies and ways that I've seen people use this product. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I know people that have a very hands-on strategy meaning that it's an advanced strategy because they are advanced users and traders. And I mean, I've seen them pump in 10% weeks, and I know the strategy because I originally designed it. It's a high risk strategy, but they have two accounts. They have their conservative account and their more high risk strategy, right? So if you're going to play with things, you want to make sure that you're never doing it with all your capital. It's a small amount of your portfolio, and that the majority of your portfolio is in a conservative strategy, right? But as you get more advanced, go through the EA Academy, dig into more of all the features of GearBox and understanding how each of these settings actually, interacts with the product. You'll start to have a better idea of, how you can customize your risk level, and really it'll help you trust GearBox more. And the goal isn't to trust GearBox, is to trust yourself, right? But the point is, when you understand the markets better, you trust yourself, which means you ultimately trust the product because you know what it's doing. All right. Dylan said, if I use sniper strategy, will I get more trades than super sniper? Does that mean more risk with trades? Dylan, I'm be honest, super sniper, you're never going to get trades, like a few trades a month. It's very slow. Sniper would be better, and even sniper's been really slow the last few months. I've been personally really liking swing lately, but sniper does crush it. Just you have to have patience. Example, this account's taken 126 trades since October, so end of October. So let's say taking a look at since they started here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got 7 months running and 126 trades. You do the math. It's not a lot of trades monthly, but it can be very, very safe, right? Shurkan said, can we manually alter SL and TP on an ongoing trade with GearBox? Absolutely, you can do that. Anonymous attendee said, can you demonstrate how to move stops to break even when you're in profit on a sequence? Like you mentioned in the Telegram. Yes, I said in the Telegram a more advanced feature. I told people that if you didn't know how to do that, you could just close floating profit trades. And if you were a more advanced user, you could move your stops to break even. So that's a really simple thing to understand. So if we were to go take a look at an account, I have no trades here in profit, but stops to break even, it's really simple. And not break even. I wouldn't put something at break even. I'd put, like, if I was in floating profit, I would just, it's a more advanced feature, but you would want to put it where you're still making some profit. So not even break even. So you'd have to go look at your chart, and if you were going to close out your trade. So that's just for entertainment purposes. There's a really cool tool coming out soon and a feature that's going to be able to help people manually do this on the chart. I'm going to talk about it more in the upcoming future. We have some ideas. It might become an add-on for GearBox. But so in this case, we see our take profit points right here. All right, we see TPs here. So you're going to want to take a look at where you become in floating profit, right? So if you know that the market is right here, and you know that this entire sequence will be in profit when it gets to right here, okay, then you could simply move all your TPs right here. So yeah, it's just a matter of kind of looking at where are you actually going to be in profit, and at what point when you are in that profit are you going to be able to actually close out that trade. So same concept, just going to kind of run up, figure out, okay, where is this trade going to be in profit when I get to this TP? And if it's right before that and you don't want to close the trade, like I said, I often, more than not, the best thing you could do is if you have had trades open for a long period of time. In this case, these trades have been open for almost a month. When these trades, I can close them out for a profit or break even, and I see that by just adding up the numbers. I'm just going to close them typically, especially if they've been open for a long time. Because typically when things trend, best is to get out of it. And the sooner the better. Unless you are only running in a strategy, like I have an account that only runs GBP pairs. So I'm going to always let those run until they hit their TP because it doesn't get many trades. So it's all in your strategy. But yeah, that's definitely a much more advanced strategy. Dylan, in order for me to switch to sniper, do I literally just hit the sniper button in my VPS? That you do? Yeah. Ryan, I'm new to using GearBox in week 1, and I'm running all pairs from the chart you have shown, excluding highlighted in yellow and swing mode. Would you mind showing some results with those settings? Yeah, the results with those settings were this account right here. So this is what you're seeing so far without the correlation filter, Ryan, from GearBox with swing settings here since August. Sure. Hey brother, I would go into the AP Academy if you haven't, when it comes to moving stop losses and TPs manually and all that stuff. If you're not familiar with how to do all that stuff, I would get back into the AP Academy and get into all the education that we have. Callum said, can you recommend a minimum leverage? I mean, the GearBox could work on a low leverage. The thing is, you need to decrease your lot sizes the lower the leverage. Ideally, anything less than 1 in, I'd say 300 or 1 in 200, you should start decreasing your lot sizes. Ideally, 1 in 500 is best. Carmen says the link for the GearBox traders chat on the website does not work. Let me tell our tech team that. Took a screenshot of that. All right. And then, as you guys have seen, I do have a super sniper account. It only runs 1 max pair trading at a time. It's a small $250 account. Super slow, rarely ever gets in trades. And when it does get in a trade, it's kind of boring because I'm only allowing it to take 1 pair at a time because it's a tiny account. But the point was to show you that, yeah, I've ran a $250 account and not blown it since August. I don't know a lot of people that can say they've used their EA on a $250 account and ran it through these market cycles. So, the point is to say, okay, that's not going to be profitable on a monthly fee, but did it work? Yeah, it did. Mario said, what is your average DD swing trading or sniper? I see your DD is lower on swing than your sniper account. Mario, that's because I don't have any sniper accounts that I was only running 3 max pairs on. You have to understand the data and the settings. So if we look at, my sniper account versus my swing, well, my sniper account or my swing account is running 3 max pairs trading. The sniper account is running 6 max pairs trading, and the lot size was actually higher than it should have been because I withdrew $2,000 and there was a trade sequence open still with a 0.04 starting lot size from when I had $4,000 in there. And I've been in that one for a while as well. Another sequence at a 0.03 starting lot. So basically my lot sizes were higher than they should have been. I was running 6 max pairs trading and withdrew money. And then things started to trend. So moral of the story on this one was double the risk and then higher risk again multiplied by higher lot sizes. But still, this account's crushing it, survived, making money, getting out of drawdown, and took on 6 pairs on a higher lot size like a champ in some crazy trending markets with correlated pairs. And to me, again, that just shows me the power in the product. The other thing you can see about Sniper is Sniper didn't hit stop losses. Swing hit stop losses. I mean, we might have hit like 1 right here. Yeah, I think we hit some stops, but we didn't take a negative month. We had some stops, but there was no negative months in regards to that. Whereas if you look at, say, swing, my 10K didn't experience it, but my 1500 running 6 max pairs, because it has more risk, did experience it. It even experienced a negative month. Experienced a no profit month and a negative month. So all in understanding settings, but I would say Sniper is going to produce less drawdown. Absolutely. If you're using it right and you're not, maximizing your max pairs heavily. But again, to show people that, hey, I survived in higher risk scenarios. I love to show people that because it shows the power in the product, but I wouldn't go running 6 max pairs. And again, you can see the market cycles have been super weird, in 2021 so far. All the months running have been a little odd compared to, say, 2020. And again, we're just going through a different period market cycle. But the point is, GearBox works through all market cycles. There's not many EAs on the market I know that perform well in all market cycles. And the one thing I can tell you about GearBox is it's performing in some crazy market conditions right now when it comes to trending markets. And, with lower risk than many other counter trend EAs or any strategies I've seen. With all the proper risk management features and with the correlation filter coming, we're going to be able to avoid larger drawdowns like this because we're going to be in less correlated pairs, meaning that we're going to be able to keep the drawdown much tighter like it used to be, which I'm very excited about. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Yes, Ryan, on the 10K swing, I am running 0.01 per 1,000. All right, let's get into Forex Factory in the upcoming week ahead. All right. So it looks like we have a relatively calm upcoming week ahead. The one thing you will see is there is some NZD red folder news. So expect some NZD volatility. This means some probably great entries for NZD in precision modes. NZD pairs in intraday mode, I'd be wary of on Tuesday of that news, just because it will probably send the market moving one direction and get some pips going. Could be great, could not be. Really depends on the mode, the strategy, and your risk level. Right, GearBox is extremely customizable, and then you see one red folder here for USD. Not too big, wouldn't worry about it too much. So it's going to be pretty normal week. I would tell you, if you are a precision user, that I would maybe just use swing mode this week. Sniper and super sniper are going to probably be pretty boring. If you are a more conservative user, stick to sniper. But for those of you that are looking to get some action, I would probably run swing in 3 max pairs trading this week and proper risk management on your lot sizes. Let's see. Will I receive a MT4 alert for a ghost trade or only a real trade? Only real trades, Nikki. I do not see any more questions. One more question. All you who want the GearBox Traders chat, let me go ahead and get you guys the link here. All right. And there's the link. I am sending you guys the link here in the chat. This is the GearBox Traders chat. Norman said, how high is proper lot size? 0.01 per 1K question mark. Well, depends on your capital. For precision modes, 0.01 per 1K is normal. So 0.01 per 1K is normal if you're using precision modes. If you're using intraday modes, 0.01 per $3,000, an instant entry or skip level strategy. again, intraday 0.01 per 3K, and then for precision 0.01 per 1K. Now, once your balance reaches over 10 to say 20, $5,000, anywhere in the $10 to $25,000 range, you should really look to decrease your risk. And then if you're in intraday mode, take your lot size to 0.01 per 5K. And if you are in precision modes, take your lot size to 0.01 for 2K to 3K, depending on your risk level. As your capital increases, it's always wise to decrease your rule of thumb for lot size. But with that being said, I look forward to an amazing week ahead of trading, and know that I'm going to be revamping a lot of the GearBox educational videos and GearBox content and resources for the AP and EA Academy this weekend. So I look forward to next week being able to roll out a ton of new videos and educational material for everybody to be able to go through and get some updated stuff on everything GearBox and all the updates we've made since the beginning. But with that being said, I hope you all have a fantastic weekend and look forward to the next one.